I can make it there. I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I am your host, Richie, riding solo and doing the eulogy for my beloved New York Yankees. I'm going to talk about the good as well as the bad, things to look forward to, and things that obviously the Yankees have to part with and improve on. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Let's go. Going to start with the bad. 18 ERA through games 1 through 3 for the starting pitchers. Luis Gil, Carlos Rodon, Max Fried all got lit up. It wasn't indicative of the kind of seasons that Rodon and Fried had, respectively, as they were Rodon an 18-game winner and Fried a 19-game winner. It's a credit to the Blue Jays. I do not want to lose sight of that. You know, the Blue Jays are the kind of offense that leans on teams, takes quality at bats, and just continues to keep coming until teams succumb. And that is exactly what happened over the course of 4 games. It took a little bit of a break and an Aaron Judge signature playoff moment home run for the Yankees to even force a game 4 yesterday. Going in, I felt the Yankees had the advantage. It's a bullpen game for the Toronto Blue Jays, but the bullpen came through, only surrendering 2 runs during the course of the game. Alex Rodriguez, post-game, made some good points about the construction of the Yankees and what is wrong. For one, they're all left-handed catchers. There is no diversity in the Yankee catching depth chart, as J.C. Escara, Ben Rice, Austin Wells are all lefties. First base, definitely a question mark moving forward, while Paul Goldschmidt had a decent season. Given his age, I don't really see a reason to bring back Goldie when you currently have Ben Rice on the roster. But an interesting move that I do think the Yankees should look into is bringing over Pete Alonso from the rival New York Mets. He will be hitting free agency yet again. And there is a mutual interest, not to mention that Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner has ties to him due to the University of Florida. So I do believe that Pete Alonso manning down a piece at both catcher and first base could be beneficial for the Yankees. Now, in a perfect world, I would love for Ben Rice to be the permanent DH and occasional first baseman, but with the Giancarlo Stanton contract, Giancarlo has a no-trade clause, and he would have to want to be moved. And I'm not pinning all of this on Giancarlo Stanton. He didn't have the best postseason. He missed half the season due to injury before finally playing. He produced at a high level once he was healthy, but The problem in today's MLB is when you have a one trick pony that can only be a designated hitter, cannot play the field efficiently, does not have any speed. In my opinion, it's a little bit of a dead weight in the lineup. We have enough guys who hit home runs. I love Giancarlo, but if the Yankees were able to get the right contract, a team that's willing to take on that contract, even if you move it for another expensive contract that could serve the team better, it is definitely something I would explore because I would hate to see them, have Ben Rice's at bats getting eaten into because you're certainly not going to bench a guy that's hitting cleanup so many years and is also that albatross of a contract. I thought the Yankees, although fans and the media won't see it this way, I thought the Yankees fared rather well this year when you consider that both Clark Schmidt and their ace Garrett Cole underwent Tommy John surgery. Getting into the postseason with those two heavy hits, not having Stanton for half the year to start, I think the Yankees did good, all things considered. But there's some questions coming down the pike. What do we do with Jason Dominguez? Do we keep Trent Grisham? These are questions that need to be answered. I do think Cody Bellinger has done enough to stick around, so to speak. But next year, when I envision this Yankee rotation, once Cole's healthy, he will be at the top of it. You have Max Fried, a Cy Young candidate this year. You have Carlos Rodon, who had a bounce back season for the Yankees and his best season as a Yankee. Luis Gil, who was last year's American League Rookie of the Year, and you have Cam Schlittler, who pitched a very solid game yesterday, as well as the closeout game in the wild card round against the Boston Red Sox. You also have a healing Clark Schmidt that the Yankees are going to have to figure out what to do with, but I'd rather have too much pitching than not enough. Bullpen was a mixed bag. Definitely a mixed bag. This is a team that after losing out on Juan Soto had to fill out the roster with a lot of monies that they were going to allocate to Soto. I think for the most part, I give the Yankees a solid B in the way that they went about doing that. Got a comment coming in. Gonna see who this is. I have a feeling who it is. Oh, Mike Zappi with the coldness. What time is the Yankees game today? Well, sir, we don't have one. But I could have asked you that about 2.5 weeks ago about your Texas Rangers. I know. The Rangers won the World Series, and yeah. Well, we played the Dodgers, though, in the World Series. All right. Go away, Zappy, with that nonsense. My co-host, one of my two co-hosts, Mr. Mike Zappi, doing a little ball breaking, as he should, because I would do the same thing today if it was the other way around. Moving forward for the New York Yankees, I want to see better depth. You need contact hitters in this lineup. I love what Trent Grisham did in the regular season. He had a career year. However, I don't think I'd be in a big rush to bring him back. You have Spencer Jones down in the minors, who I think is close to getting an opportunity. George Lombard, the shortstop of the future, hopefully could get expedited and can be ready to play next year because Anthony Volpe is just not it. When you look at his postseason strikeout metrics, unacceptable to say the least. Jazz Chisholm Jr., not the best postseason, and definitely booted a routine double play that really just put the Yankees out of reach for the comeback. Um, I don't know. Jazz, I feel, has become in love a little too much with the long ball, and I think he's cheating some of his natural attributes by trying to be, like many other left-handed hitters that come into the Bronx, a pull-hitting, home run ambitionist, when in reality, I'm not saying I don't want to see him hit home runs, but there's so much more that he could do with his natural skill set. When you go to the World Series the previous year, anything less than a World Series appearance is naturally considered a failure, especially when you are the New York Yankees, who have essentially won almost a quarter of all World Series played, which is remarkable. But we're approaching in a few more years, 20 years, since the New York Yankees raised a banner. And for the Yankees and their fans, that is an eternity. Good point was made yesterday during the telecast. if the Yankees actually miss the playoffs once in a while, this drought doesn't nearly get as much exposure. But because the Yankees are constantly in the playoffs, they're under more scrutiny because they have not finished. What else? Ryan McMahon, excellent pickup at third base. I thought defensively he was sensational. Of course, we want more with the bat. That goes without saying. Goes without saying that we want to see more with his bat. I do believe that Ahmed Rosario would be a logical person to keep around and bring back, but we shall see because you also have Oswaldo Cabrera who's on the mend. But Rosario is a contact hitter, a hitter for average, and a guy that I would like to see on this club if they can keep him around. But definitely an offseason of big time questions as the biggest thing here is that you don't want to waste any more of Aaron Judge's prime. You don't want this to be another story like Don Mattingly. And speaking of Don Mattingly, congratulations to him, my all-time favorite New York Yankee, having an opportunity to possibly be a part of a World Series, albeit on the coaching staff. I really hope that Don Mattingly is able to win one. I certainly didn't foresee it with me pulling for a Canadian baseball team that's in my division. But I have no allegiance to anybody left in the playoffs, and I would absolutely love to see Don Mattingly get a ring. And I want to give the Toronto Blue Jays a lot of credit. I think when you get defeated like that and you see a team celebrate on your home field, it kind of gives you that extra motivation and the fuel that you need to come back stronger next year. This was an incomplete Yankees team this year. When you don't have Garrett Cole for any part of the season, the expectations, in my opinion, needed to be down to a level. They still accomplished having the best record in the American League. They still had a hell of a season. If the Yankees win the American League East as opposed to losing it, is this a different outcome? That's hard to say. I don't know. But all credit due to the Toronto Blue Jays. This is their first American League championship in a long time, American League championship appearance in a long time, and they have not won the World Series since 1993, which was, of course, the year before the strike. And Canada could have very well had a champion 3 consecutive years because the Montreal Expos, in most people's estimation, were the absolute best team that year in 1994. But until next time, I am Richie. Enjoy your day. If your team is still in the playoffs, good luck to them. I'll be posting my predictions on the baseball games in just a bit. And in case you didn't catch yesterday's show, I'll drop it here to you. My prediction for Thursday Night Football in round 2 of Saquon's return to MetLife Stadium. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles winning it 24-17 over my beloved New York Giants. And I got Saquon Barkley going for 105 and 2 touchdowns. I think Saquon gets his 100-yard game this week. Have a great day, everyone. And Hal, please get this right, man. We know that we can make the playoffs every year. We know that we're going to have sellout. We know that the merchandise is through the roof. You're great at running a business, but it's time for you to get great at running a team because the Yankee fans deserve better. I'm out.